Hi everyone, it's Olivia from Girlybunches, and in this week's video I'm going to be showing you this V-stitch, which is really popular at the moment. It looks great and is brilliant for blankets and anything that you want to make colourful. Cushion covers, blankets, cardigans, jumpers, bags, it would be brilliant for. And I really love it because it gives this impression of this mini zigzag, almost like rick-rack, if you know that sort of embellishment that you can put on fabric. Really love this pattern. It does look best when you have a different colour per row, I think, personally, but that's just my preference. But we'll see in the video. I'll show you using both colours and just one colour. So this is the V-stitch, and it's using trebles. Remember, I'm British, so I use British terminology, and each one of these is a treble and a chain in each space. So I shall start the video and show you how to do this lovely stitch. Okay, so I'm just taking my normal double knit yarn and a 4mm hook. Obviously you can use the size hook for the yarn that you're using, and I'm just going to start by doing some chains, some foundation chains. So to start this pattern you will need any number of chains as long as they are divisible by 3, and then you need to add 4 to start off with. So I'm going to do 25. So there we go, there's 25 chains ready to be worked into. The first thing we need to do is we need to do our first V. So we need to do that in the 5th chain from the hook. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and into that one there we're going to do 1 treble, a bit fiddly to start off with, 1 treble, 1 chain, and 1 more treble into that same chain space there. I'll just take the hook out and we'll have a look. And what we've got there is we've got 1 treble, which is 3 chains, so 3 chains replaces the treble, with 1 chain in between. Okay, so like I said, I'm British, so I use British terminology, and I call that a treble, but you may know that as a double. Okay, so we're going to do that same thing again, but we're going to skip 2 stitches, so sorry, 2 chains, so not that one, not that one, and into the 3rd one. So we've skipped 2, 1, 2, and into the 3rd one along. We're going to repeat that 1 treble, 1 chain, and 1 treble. Okay, I'll show you that one more time. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, so that's skipping 2, and into the 3rd chain along we're going to do 1 treble, 1 chain, and 1 treble into that same chain space. So what we're going to do, we're going to do that all the way along until we get down to 2 more chains that are left here. So I'm just going to do that. So I've gone all the way along now, putting in my V shapes until I've got 2 more chains left on the foundation row. And what we're going to do is we're going to do 1 treble into that last stitch. So we're going to skip 1, and into that last chain on the end there I'm just going to do 1 treble like that. So that's the start, and now what we're going to do is I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, like that. I'm going to turn the work around, and then we're just going to start repeating what we did before, but into that chain space of between the 2 trebles. So we're going to do 1 treble, 1 chain, 1 treble, like that, and then we're just going to repeat that into the next chain space along. So you need to work that V-stitch into the top of the V-stitch from the previous row. If I just pull that out a bit, I'm sure you can see what we're doing there. So if I do that again, so into that one chain space between the trebles, you do one treble, one chain, and then one treble. I'm going to repeat that now all the way to the end. Like that. So we've got to the end, and all we need to do now is we just need to do one treble into the top of that third chain that we did right at the very beginning, just to give us a nice straight edge. So there you go, you can see it's very quick to grow and it doesn't take up too much yarn, which is nice because that way you can get quite a lot of coverage from your yarn, so you can make quite a decent sized blanket without having to spend too much money on yarn. So if I just change the colours now, right, so I've put a new colour on my hook. Sorry, it's the same colour as my hook, so it might be a bit difficult to see, but when you want to, if you're doing a blanket with different colours like I am, like from the beginning I showed you, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you do turn your work and you start working with the tail that you've cut from your colour on the right hand side, because otherwise you'll just be working the stitches all with one side facing. But if you alternate them, then you've got the back and the front of the stitches, which means that the blanket will always be in the right way facing. So start your new colour just by working in a slip stitch into the top of that treble that you've just done, and then chain 3 to replace the treble, and then just continue as you would on the previous rounds by doing one treble, one chain and one treble into each one of those chain spaces. Like so, and when you use the other colour you can really see the stitch sort of take its shape, definition. So when you're just using one colour it doesn't really look, well, you can't really see the pattern, but when you've got different colours you really can see that pattern coming out. So I'm just going to continue to the end of this row. And there we go at the end of the row, so I just need to finish that off by doing a treble into the top of that third chain there that we started the row from the previous row. And I'm going to fasten off this yarn because I want to do one more row in the other colour, and I've got tangled up here. So just take my other colour, do my slip knot, attach it to my hook, and again I'm going to make sure that my tail end is on the right hand side from the previous row, and that's where I'll start my stitches. So I'm just going to slip stitch onto the top there like so, and chain 3, and then just repeat the pattern. And I'm just doing this because I really want you to see how defined the pattern is when you're using different colours. And although it gives you lots of ends to sew in, unfortunately it does bring the best out of the pattern, I think. So I'll just work this to the end of the row. And there we go, just going to finish that row off by doing my treble at the end. I'm just going to leave it like that. And there we go, you can see now that that zigzag pattern is really accentuated by using the different colours. So really easy, really simple, great stitch to do, to know, and it just works up so quickly. You can see that well, I've done this in about 10 minutes, so you know, I'll obviously edit this down a little bit, but overall this has taken me about 10 minutes to get this far. So really simple. So you remember the starting chain will be a number divisible by 3, and then you just add 4 more stitches to however many stitches that you've put on already. So really simple. Somebody did ask me to show using 2 trebles, and it is exactly the same principle. I didn't change anything. I've done this exactly the same way that I did this, with the same number of stitches at the bottom. Obviously I've done a few more V's on this one, Sorry about the noisy birds outside if you can hear them. I've got the windows open, sorry. And yeah, so all I did was I just did 2 trebles into the chain space with 1 chain between them. If you found that that was sort of making your work warp a little bit too much, you could, on this bottom row, maybe just have 3 chains in between, so you'd work into the 4th one along. But as you can see, I haven't done anything differently, so it's not making it warp in any way. It does make it a little bit thicker, but you will use up more yarn, obviously. Goodness, those birds are so noisy, I'm so sorry. So that's my little video on how to do this V-stitch, which is really popular at the moment. And if I just bring back my blanket that I'm working on, it's still work in progress, but yes, as you can see, it really is quite delightful. I hope you agree. And yeah, okay, so thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you liked this video. I really hope you did. Hope you found it helpful. If you haven't subscribed, why don't you subscribe now by hitting that subscribe button down below. I will put links down below in the description box to all of my playlists about basic stitches, so that you can, if you're not familiar with the stitches I've just used, that playlist contains everything that you'll need to know to do these stitches, where I go into each stitch in depth. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Normally on Instagram, if you know me, then I'm normally on Instagram. So come and say hi, and I'm Girlybunches in all of those places. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye!